Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I believe that everyone is doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I am excited yet again because I have another amazing guest, and it's no coincidence. I mean, I continue to draw these amazing people to me from around the world and me to them, and it's just so beautiful. And I could say that I'm getting used to it, but it's so exciting. And as we were talking even prior to this, we were just discussing how amazing it is that we can just connect with people all around the world. But before I keep talking, let me introduce this amazing person. Her name is Sheb Jenner, and she is all the way in the Gold Coast. Is that what you said? Australia. Beautiful. And let me tell you a little bit about her before I turn over the spotlight to her to tell you about herself. Now, Sheb is an accredited exercise scientist, clinical hypnotherapist, and strategic psychotherapist. Psychotherapist. Sheb enjoys professional speaking opportunities that teach individuals how to enrich their lives, create a better future, and how the mind can be trained for optimal performance and growth. Sheb's interest is to boost individual morale, increase creativity, teach individuals how to reconnect their mind body, and how to apply coping strategies towards chronic stress. Wow, there's more. Sheb has over 14 years experience working with over thousands of individuals within the allied health sector as a practitioner for 10 of those years in her own practice and 4 years in corporate as injury manager advisor and rehabilitation consultant. During her journey, Sheb discovered that in order for individuals to create a positive change towards their health and well being and to improve their quality of life, they must first work on modifying their thoughts and behaviors. Truth, I resonate with that. She is intensely curious about neuroplasticity and how people can come together to build a strong and resilient internal world with the help of a mindful practice and using hypnotherapy as a tool. Hypnotherapy is powerful. I can vouch for that. Sheb believes in a holistic approach to wellness and empowers individuals to stress less, be their best, and use their inner resources to create a better, brighter future. Amazing. And prior to this segment, I told her that at first I wasn't going to read that, but it was so amazing and it just flowed so well that I said, I'm going to read every word of that. Thank you, Sheb. How are you doing today? I am so thankful to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Connecting with you, Lute, I'm doing even more amazing. Thank you for enriching my morning here. This is an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much for having me.
M-
Such an honor and
My
privilege.
pleasure. And the feeling is so mutual. Now it's morning where you are now. What time is it there?
10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m. there, and here in the US in California, it's 5 p.m. But like we said, it's so amazing. She's just starting her day. I'm ending my day, and here we are collaborating and infusing our energies and amazing. Let's just get right into it. I want you to elaborate on some of these amazing things that I introduced in your introduction. Tell me, tell us what you want to tell us. What are you into right now? The floor is
I love
yours.
it. I love it. Thank you so much, Luke, once again for the opportunity to share my journey in the hope to inspire others to be their best, to help them get stuck in that position, wherever that might be, whatever that looks like for the individual. Fortunately, my journey started as a soft tissue therapist 14 years ago, where I was working on pain related matters, physical manifestations, And I found out throughout my journey that a lot of the physical pain that a lot of these clients who I was working with that was experiencing had a lot to do with what was going on in their minds, in what they were
Minds.
thinking,
Right.
in the language that were telling themselves, you know. And this is something that really sparked my interest, particularly when intuitively I worked on a particular client whereby we did an assessment, pre-therapy assessment, and she had limited range of motion in her shoulder. Intuitively, I asked her, without even touching her just yet, without even commencing treatment, has there been something that has been going on in your life, something stress related, something perhaps? I said to her, you don't need to tell me, but has there been an event whereby you felt distress, whether that
Right.
might be anger, whatever that might be? And sure enough, there was. And I utilized some interventions that I practiced on myself with her. And it wasn't until we did that, then I asked her, now that we've worked through that, could I request that you bring that arm back up so we can test that range of movement again?
Right.
Sure enough, her range of movement improved. And I was like inside, I'm doing cartwheels, right? I'm like getting really excited and thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't even touched this lady just yet. And yet
Right.
we've got some outcome. And so again, this sparks some interest. I've gone, there's more to this. It's not just about the hands-on physical therapy, but there is so much more to this, which led me towards the path to learn more about what I was doing and how it was working, and just really dive deep into the neuroplasticity, how we can change our body, how we can change our thinking by reframing the thoughts, the words that we use for each other. I mean, you know about all this, Lute, as well. You've been practicing this
Right.
and embedding this in your mind as well. And I practiced this, and there was a time back in 2015 where I experienced to practice what I was preaching because I got really sick. Here I am, health and well-being, looking after the health of others, and then I got struck with a disease.
Right.
It was a big wake-up call. I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease of
Oh, wow.
what's called hyperthyroidism. And there was talks that my thyroid was going to be removed. There were talks about being on medication for the rest of my life. Now, side note, absolutely nothing wrong with taking medication, but it's not
Right.
something that I believed in. It's not something that I wanted for me for the rest of my life. So this
Absolutely.
enabled me to practice what I was preaching, to train in self hypnosis, to practice the whole reframing, the thoughts, the thinking, because as you know, and as what Bob Proctor says, that our body is an instrument of our mind. Whatever we feed the mind, the body takes on what you feed it. All the trillions of cells that integrate and that flow through to and through our body really resonates with our thinking, our thoughts. And so,
If I could interject
yeah,
just a second,
please do.
and it, like I said before, this is no coincidence that you're talking about this, because lately I've been reading a lot of books that talk about how the diseases start here,
Yeah,
and I'm still trying to fathom a lot of that. And a lot of people, when you bring that up to, they have a hard time digesting that. Like, I didn't create this. And just, there's it starts here. And that's amazing that if you can get to that and start here, then you can start the cure. And I just talked to a woman the other day that said, because I told her at the time I was coughing a little bit, and I said I have a little bit of allergies, and she goes, well, I refuse to be sick. That's what she said. And I go, oh, that is amazing. So she's starting in her mindset, and you know it's
yeah.
beautiful. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to elaborate on what you were saying, that it resonates with me so much, especially lately. I've been reading even a book by The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. It talks about that, how things start here, and the importance of words, our words, and everything like that. So go
Wow.
ahead, Sheb.
talk about coincidence. I have that book sitting by my bedside right now.
Yes, and I have it here by my bed. Yep. I
I love
love Rhonda Byrne.
Love it, love it. So thank you so much. I mean, yeah, feel free to interject at any time.
Yes.
So that's where my journey really began. It allowed the opportunity to practice what I was preaching, to practice all the resources that I've gained throughout my journey, and to go, right, what do I believe in? What do I need to change here? Really tap into that inner resource that we all have, but we struggle to tap into, or that we don't give ourselves the time and the energy to really tap into.
Right.
And so I practiced all of that. I practiced the self-hypnosis. I practiced the reframing, the self-belief and the limiting beliefs, got rid of all of that. It wasn't until 10 months following another blood test, because I was going every month to get my hormones checked out. It wasn't until the 10th month that I finally went back to the endocrinologist. The results came back negative.
Negative. Of course.
Wow.
Of course. Of
What
course.
what does that mean? I said, oh, it means you can come off the medication. You're no longer required to take the medication. You
Wow.
don't have the disease.
Wow.
Now, do I have any evidence? Can I scientifically prove whether what I was practicing helped eliminate the disease? I can say, in my own experience, based on my own experience, I have a strong belief that yes, that whatever I was practicing and the way that I was implementing that in my journey, I believe so. I believe so. Has
Absolutely.
it been? Has there been? And belief is a whole new ball game, right?
Absolutely.
Is there medical scientific evidence? They're out there. And for viewers, I would encourage you to go out and Google it and look at Google Scholar and look at the evidence, belief systems, and practicing self-hypnosis techniques, and mindful practice as well, mindfulness practice, meditation, really allowing that opportunity to tap into your inner world, into your inner resource. There is really something massively need to be said about this. There is
Right.
that is not a lot. We're starting to get into it. Even the corporate world is starting to tap into the whole mindfulness aspect of
Right.
bringing,
People are
employees,
becoming more and more awake in
right?
all areas. It's starting to filter through in all areas, walks of life. Like you said, yeah, corporate, and they're recognizing it a little bit more in medicine and medically. And I know it's kind of slow. I have a belief that it's kind of slow in the medical field because it has something to do with disrupting their profit margin. But at the same time, you can't deny it's so powerful what you're saying,
Yeah.
that it's just happening anyway, and people are becoming more and more aware of it. And I follow a man that really practices exactly what you're talking about. His name is Greg Braden, and he has been in hospital rooms where they've hooked up things to people and had meditation, and you just watch whatever tumor or whatever just started to
Yeah.
dissipate and disappear. I mean, it's
Mm,
powerful, and I saw it with my own eyes. So I know, and I know the power of thinking and words and intention and feeling. I know, and that's something that I'm working on to get more in tune and more aligned with every day. That's my goal, you know. But
that's amazing.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Okay.
Is that a practice that you've been doing too for a while now, Lute?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And besides that, whatever occurs in my life, that even if it's something that I feel is unwanted, I always accept it as if it was meant to happen for a reason, you know, and something good is going to come out of it. So no matter what, I just look at life differently now. So I
Mm,
look at it in a way that everything's for my benefit, no matter what. When certain doors close, that just means that something different or better is going to open up. So, not saying that I don't have my moments, I do, but
yeah.
I don't stay there. I get out because I know that something better is coming. And that's just the way my life is just unfolding too. It just is. Because I
No.
think along the lines, the way we think, that's just what it is. If you think life is great and unfolding for you, and you keep really feeling and thinking that, that's just the way it is, no matter what.
We couldn't agree more, agree more. And one of the quotes that I really carry with me and resonate with me and have been for many years is one of Wayne Dyer's, where he says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change,
Change.
right?
Oh, I love
And
Wayne Dyer.
I love all their work. Greg
Yes.
Braden,
Yeah.
Biology of Belief, Bruce Lifton, Dr. Bruce
Stuart
Lifton,
Wilde. Yeah.
Joe Dispenza. They're,
Joe
oh my
Dispenza. Oh yeah. See,
God,
that's why we're here. We're tapping into the same energy, and the same things motivate us and inspire us. So therefore, that's why we can be halfway around the world and still connect and be able to have a conversation, a dialogue so easy, and it's going to flow so well because we're along the same thought current and you know
yeah. and and
paths.
and your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Right, right.
Once you set that vibration and you plan it out into the world, well, you're just going to resonate with that vibration.
Yes.
And thank you for, again, just taking that step up and doing what you're doing right now, because the more we get out there, the more we get this information out there. And thank goodness, so the doctors out there, such as Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr.
Lipton.
Wayne
Yeah.
Dyer, who's come out and they've set the cornerstone for us. They've leveled up and they've gone, hey guys, we're delivering this. We've got the science, we've got the evidence, and they're presenting it to us. And we're like, take,
Yeah.
we'll take that, we'll
Yeah.
take whatever resonates with us. And then it's like, okay, now
Right.
that we've reached a level of, shall I say, enlightenment,
Right.
but obviously there's way more, right? And the more we feel enlightened, the more we're like, oh my gosh, there's more. Oh my gosh, there's more. And we're constantly just leveling up and leveling up. And it's just this never ending, amazing journey that no matter how deep diving we get, the more we learn about ourselves, our
Yes.
environment, our
How
internal
beautiful
world.
and powerful we are. Yes.
Oh, 100%. And we really do create our own reality, right?
Reality. Yeah. Right.
I created this whole environment around me. I created this.
Yes.
Every single thing. My dreams become a reality. And people say to me, oh, you're a dreamer, Sheb. I said, I know. And
I
my dreams
know that.
come
Thank you. That's a
true.
compliment. A
Yeah.
dreamer. I imagine all the time, and you know, I play things over in my head of I'm thankful for now, but I play things in my head of how I want things to be. Like I already see myself, and sometimes I'm acting it out, with myself as this is happening. Oh, I'm doing this, or I'm driving to here, and I'm going in here, and this gate is opening up, and I'm doing this, and I'm talking to this person. I even had before she passed. I had a thing where I was sitting with Louise Hay and talking to her, on a personal level. And I just felt it. And I still feel like that I'm talking to her in spirit, but
Yeah.
she's made a big impact on my life. I have a few of her books, and I love listening to her meditations and just her voice. And she's been through so much in life, and just to be able to pour out so much love like that, that's just
Yeah.
amazing. And I look at it like what you were saying is when you look at Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza, Wayne Dyer, I look at it as like uh, everybody holding a torch, and now everybody's torch isn't lit yet. So we're getting our torch lit from someone else, and then we have the torch now, and ours is lit. So it's up to us to light other people's torches. You know?
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Well said. Absolutely.
So then the
Yeah.
whole, and the goal is to get the whole world's, all of our torches lit, and get the energy and the level and the knowledge and the awareness and the consciousness up.
Light it up, baby. Light it up.
Light it up. Beautiful. So what do you have? Is there anything specific? I know you have a lot going on, but is there anything specific that you're focused on right now in regards to either yourself or the service of others? Is there something that's really stands out right now?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
such a good question, Lute. And the short answer is my focus is passing that light to as many people as possible,
Right,
to as many people as I can, but whilst doing that, also maintaining that same practice to myself,
right,
maintaining the regular consistent meditation, practicing a mindfulness approach to living, taking the time to take the time, right?
right.
And not try to eliminate the word busy. I don't want to be telling people I'm busy. It's busy, because the more I repeat that, the more of that I'm going to get.
Right.
So if I can reframe that by saying I'm blissfully present.
Present. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
like
I've
that.
been working a lot on that by changing, again, the way I think of things. Instead of saying I'm busy, I'm present.
Present.
I'm
Right.
present. I'm
Present.
here. And after all, that is the only time that ever exists, right? The time
Right.
that we
Right
have now,
now. Right now.
right
The Power of
now.
Now. Eckhart Tolle. I love that book too. Yes. Oh, see, you know what? Oh, let me stop acting shocked, acting like I'm shocked. I'm not. That's how it goes. You already know. You've had enough of these serendipities in life. You know that's just the way it is. That's the way it goes. So
That's how we roll.
that's just how we roll. Now, can you tell me a bit? You sent me a link to this Gold Coast hypnotherapy book. Now, is this a book that you've written and it says free 20-minute session? Can you elaborate on this?
Oh, that must be the link whereby anyone looking at gaining further information, or I think it might be the monthly free online sessions that I run. So for
Okay.
people who would like, I guess anyone who is new to say hypnosis or new to guided meditation, it's one that I just do just to add value out there. It's free, it's done monthly. So the first Sunday evening, that's Australian Eastern Standard Time, that I offer that. So it's a live session that I provide. So last
Okay.
Sunday, I took my subscribers and participants to a virtual holiday.
Right.
So we may not be able to go out and travel in reality, but we
Not
can
yet.
in our minds.
Right.
So I took them on a virtual reality. I record that and I package that and send them through to those who subscribe via an MP3. And then I open the session to any Q&As. So anybody who's currently feeling stuck or would like some, I guess, more like questions surrounding what's currently going on. So I open the opportunity to questions where I'd be more than happy to answer. So I think that's the link that you're referring to. So
Right. And I'll make sure that sounds so amazing, by the way, everything you just said. And I'll be sure that when this video is uploaded, to YouTube, that is in the description so people can just click right on it and get right to you and to your amazing services and amazing energy. Now, what got you into hypnotherapy? I mean, how'd you go about doing that? I mean, what
yeah.
did somebody influence you? I mean, you just curious? How'd that come about?
Great question. So this takes me back. It's a very traditional old type of therapy, which is making a comeback in massive waves. My
Right,
focus is on the more modern approach in taking individuals where they are to where they want to go, helping them bridge that gap.
right,
It came about even more so to the example that I was using previously, how I was assisting people on a soft tissue level, but then intuitively in that one particular moment with that one particular client where we focused on some thought intervention and we improved function in that shoulder. And then I got sick, and then I used self-hypnosis on my own healing journey, where thereby I realized there's something more to this. I need to add some more tools into my toolbox, which is why I pursued to study hypnosis and also psychotherapy as well. So it's again a
wow,
modern type of therapy to ask. It's not about so much about what we're doing, why we're doing it, but more
right,
so about how are we doing it.
Right.
Right. For example, if I were to present symptoms of anxiety, if I were to present symptoms of depression,
Yeah.
the question
Why
I
is
would,
this happening?
right? How am I doing anxiety? How am I doing depression? And it's a powerful question when I ask my clients, well, I feel depressed. How are you doing depressed? How are you doing that?
Wow. How are you doing it? Wow.
Huh. How am I doing? How are you doing stressed? How are
Right.
you doing fear? Huh. How? So it opens up a whole new ball game in terms of helping people to start to formulate or get into their cognitive strategies. Helping them. It's like it's a strategic type of therapy that allows the cognitive processes to then intertwine in a way towards their conscious thinking. So it's like bringing that awareness to their conscious thinking, but then my job is to then lead them towards their unconscious processes. So we have all
Wow.
kinds of habits. We have habits that are not non-serving, and we have habits that are serving. We want to target those habits that are non-serving, right? So, well, how does that happen? That happens on an unconscious level most of the time.
Right.
And we'd
Right.
like to acknowledge them and say, hey, I'm not happy with this subconscious part of the mind. Let's bring the unconscious to the conscious mind and look at ways of how we can change that. How we
How we can eradicate it. Get
exactly
it out. Yeah, so that it's no
exactly
longer a part of your subconscious mind. Yeah,
right.
that's deep, Sheb. That's wow. That's
That's
absolutely
right.
amazing.
And my anxiety to public speaking it came from my fear of what others thought of me.
Anxiety to public speaking.
Anxiety, me, right?
You mean you had anxiety to public speaking? Not now, right? Because I was about to say there is no way.
Past tense. And it was the whole fear of what people thought of me. And that stemmed
Right.
from previous experience. So, what I had experienced way back. And so, a lot of the time, what we fear today, or what we worry about today, or get angry about today, may be based on what had an experience, 5, 10, 15 years ago.
And it's stuck in that subconscious mind somewhere.
Correct.
Right. And,
Correct.
and
And
that's
hence why
wow.
we need to bring that awareness to the person, and as you said earlier, to help empower that person to say, hey, you don't need to carry that burden anymore,
Right.
right? I'll tell you a story. When my husband and I were initially together, about we're going, well, 15 years, we'll be married 15 years in June.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
thank you, Lute. And it was in the initial stages. One time he turned to me and said, oh, you just sounded like your mother then. And this was a habitual behavior that I had carried forward. And
Right.
I've got,
Right.
oh my gosh, you're right. That was my mother. That was not me. So
Right.
a lot of these behaviors,
I can relate to that.
right?
Yeah. Because
We
I've done the
carry
same thing.
it's it happens on an unconscious level,
Yeah.
and we do it. Why do we do it? We don't even know half the time why we do what
Well,
we do.
it's been embedded, from early on into your subconscious mind has recorded that, and then eventually it plays it back.
100%, like a broken record, over and over. So that
Right.
is like self-hypnosis, but serving you in the incorrect way,
Way.
or in a negative way. We
Yes,
want to
because whether our parents or whoever, are the people that influenced us, like in your case, in my case, my mom, whether they were aware of doing something that wasn't going to help you or not, they were doing the best they can, but nonetheless it recorded in your mind, and like you said, it's going to continue to play over in your life until you identify that and get it out of there and reprogram your mindset so that you can be better than that mindset that your mom had, you know.
exactly.
Right.
Absolutely spot on. You hit the nail on the head, Lute. And I mean, they did the best that they can do with the level of consciousness that they,
Consciousness that they had.
and
Yep.
and I respect that. And now I understand that, and I forgive my upbringing because they did the best that they could with the tools that they had at the level of consciousness that they had.
You know.
Therefore, I can't not hold on to that bitter
Yeah,
thing
you
that
can't. You got to let it go. And you know what's amazing, Sheb, if I might interject really quickly, is that now we're to a point where our level of consciousness now allows us to look at that stuff and see what's not serving us. See, before, the mindset that a lot of people had, our parents, their parents, they weren't even aware of looking at things in their life to see if it was actually serving them. They just thought they were victims of circumstance, or this is just the way it is, and there's nothing that we can do about it, and that's it. That was the mindset that even some people, a lot of people still have. But to know that you don't have to stay there, you can, that you can be aware of things that your habits that just happen, and you might not know why, but you can get to a point and seek people like yourself to identify things that don't serve you, that lead to depression, stress, um, pessimism, and it's just beautiful that you're even aware now to
yeah.
that point, to know to get these things out and reprogram. Because before, the old mindset was whatever our parents taught us, yeah, that's fine. That's part of my foundation. Stay with that. No, not if it's not serving you, not if it's not enhancing your life in some way. And it's no disrespect to our parents, but at the same time, we want to keep moving up to our higher selves. And even something like that wasn't said back in the days, higher
Exactly.
selves. That would have been some scary voodoo, you know, witchcraft or satanic. Oh, higher self. What are you talking about? But now we're able to see, thanks especially to the internet, um, to find people like Wayne Dyer and Bruce Lipton, and
Mm,
all these people, and get this information and say, wow, okay, this isn't some
right.
cult stuff. This is actually connecting with yourself, the universe within yourself, the God within yourself, you know, and creating your own reality. And there's just laws in place. Wow, and everybody they know something, because all these people that you read from, they have some similar things in there, and they don't even know each other. So it's beautiful. Even when I
Absolutely.
read from people, that are long gone, like, from Ernest Holmes or Earl Nightingale or Napoleon Hill, they were on to something. And it's like, wow, you know, yeah, they're on to something.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, so in this hypnotherapy, how does this work? So you can do it in person or over the web.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my client base right now, due to the obvious reasons for what's going currently in the world, it's done by like this. And the good news is, Luke, that the efficacy between face to face and doing it via like this online is the same. So there is no difference. So long as obviously I can see you, which in this case I can, and I pre-talk, or I advise the client beforehand that in the event that if anything were to happen, that if we were to disconnect, that you will wake up with energy. So I
Oh,
pre-talk.
hold on, let me stop you there. You say
Yeah,
wake up. So what, you
well,
you put people to sleep?
no, I don't. No, it's not.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. I'm not. Let me reframe that. It's not. You can I guess open your eyes, feeling more energized, feeling more
Okay.
energetic, more aware, more conscious of your surroundings, that type of thing. So it's not so much, because that's a misinterpretation. A lot of people think that hypnotherapy, oh, I don't want to be asleep on, because this is the whole control. People want to be in
In
control.
control. It's more
The
like a meditative type thing, right? Sort of.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. It's
No,
really
no, not really. I don't want to throw words out there. I'm just trying to, I'm not
not
really
really.
familiar with it. So I'm
Not
trying to get a little grasp or a concept or a feeling of what
yeah.
actually happens.
Yeah. So well done. Really good question, and thank you so much for bringing that to our awareness. So it's allowing it's a multitude of suggestions that, based on the information that I gather, it's all customized according to the individual, what they're presenting, and I therefore make a suggestions according to what the person is presenting. So for example, I use metaphors as well as part of the intervention, as part of the talk, as part of my suggestions. And the idea is helping them. Here's a really interesting thing that happens. I throw these suggestions out to the individual. They've got their eyes closed. I'm guiding them to their in their inner resources, and I'm throwing all these suggestions, and you may want to consider this. And it's a very permissive approach, the way I deliver my therapy. So the traditional type of hypnosis was, you must do this or you must do that, and it's very direct. My approach
Right.
is very permissive. So I'm inviting the individual. You may want to consider this, or you may, etc. And they come out of the session, when we talk about it, how was that for you? How did, any deep, meaningful insights? And they'll wake up and or they'll open their eyes and they'll say, oh, well, and they'll make this link and they will have this breakthrough. And I've gone, wow, I did not mention any of that in my suggestions, but my
Some kind
suggestion
of way you flushed it out of their subconscious mind
somehow,
and brought it to the surface.
right? And
Beautiful.
that is something that I'm always amazed with. So and I would tell my mentors and my coaches, myself, who as you know, we all have, and I would
Right.
say, hey, this is the experience we had, and I just don't know how it happens, and we don't know how it happens, but it does. And when it does, it's almost like magic. It's almost like amazing. It's
Right.
like, and it's an outcome. It's an outcome that we work towards. That
Wow.
is what we work towards, is helping that individual really tap into that internal resources. Gather already. There's a part of you. There's a part of this person that already has a deeper knowing, that there is
Wow.
part of them that they have that answer.
Right.
I used to go to people such as psychics, right? Because I
Psychics.
want psychics. I used to, I want to know this, and could you tell me about this? And I want to know more about this. But I feel over the years, since I've been really practicing on my inner world, that I'm like, I've already got the answers.
Right.
I'm beginning to learn to find those answers already within me. And my purpose is to help others to find
To find.
theirs. And
Right.
Luke, because as you know, and as you found, the more we practice this, the more we
Right.
go in and dive into our inner world, the more likely we are then to find the answers. It's like
To find the
connecting the
answers.
dots.
Right. Right.
It's
To
like
find
connecting
answers
the dots.
and create answers too. The answers that we want, or the circumstances,
Right?
but that's a beautiful, I love that, how you talk about going in. It reminds me of like, um, if have something planted and you go in to the roots to get it out and remove it and then replant it. That's what it reminds me of. And then,
Mhm.
okay, it'll grow better over here. So you get down to the roots, back there, like you said, the programming, the stuff that people were exposed to, the information that they thought was right at the time, and it's all in there. And you go in there and find it, and find, oh, this is connected to this depression in your life. This is connected to your failed relationships in your life. This is connected to your unhappiness. And that's
Yeah.
so beautiful. I think that's amazing. And I think that's a wonderful, um, I don't want to just say service, but just a wonderful gift to humanity, to help people one at a time
Mm.
to become better, and to find answers within themselves, and to find, the root basically of where it comes from. and be able to remove that and get that those blockages out of the way.
That's
I
right.
think that's
That's
amazing.
right. And if I may add to that, Lut, is that we don't need to be victims. There's
Right.
many people out there who say, oh, but my mother was like this, but my father was like this, and this is just the way I am. Well, sure, if you say so, if that's the way you want to be, but then don't
Right.
come to me
Right.
and
Because whatever
complain
you
to me
say, that's what it is.
how
If you
crappy
say this is
life.
the way I am, then that's the way you are.
That's right. But
And
then
that's the way
don't come
you are.
to me
Yeah.
and say, but life is crappy and your life is better and da 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 da. I'm like, excuse
Okay.
me.
Okay.
You want to change that, then you need to do that. You first need to accept that you are not a victim of your past. You are not a victim of whatever happened in your upbringing. If you want to change, then you need to start to step it up and go, right, admit to that. If
You can
you
have a
can,
totally different life than before. You don't have to be
right?
connected to that. You don't have to be shackled to your past. No.
But
No.
that's where, see, often people, and there's a couple of certain family members in my family that want to be given that. It's like,
Right.
you cannot be given something. How are you going to learn
You got to
any
learn and work.
out
It
of
takes time and effort and work and process, like you said. You know, even I've gotten people that are close around, around me to ask me how do I, the stuff that I have put together. Even talking with you and other people around the world, they want that immediately, and it's like, no, this isn't just something I just put together overnight. I mean, it took working on myself. uh it's a process, and in that process I'm attracting these different things, and it
right.
takes time. It doesn't just happen, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not something that I could make up. Now you can go through life, trying to do a quick way around it, and that's not real, but I think it'll crumble apart, easier. But as you're working, this is a foundation I'm building, and it's genuine, and people can see that, you know what I
Mm,
mean? Because they see that I'm not just here today, gone tomorrow. I'm staying with the process. Every time you see me, I'm posting up some new book I'm reading, or some new idea, or some new inspiration, or a new song, and it's just constant, and talking about how I'm working on myself, and talking about how I'm using these adversities in my life to build on, and to use as fuel to grow. And that takes, that's a process, that it is, it's a process, and it's not something that you could just make up
yeah.
frivolously, and just come with this false image. It's like, I'm connected to something, um I feel that is my passion, and I feel that is my purpose. That's where my joy stimulates from. Now,
Mm, mm.
you'll get people also that will look in on what you're doing, and they will try to put some type of title or timeline as to, or some kind of description on your success, like based on, okay, how come you don't have this and that. And it's like, wait a minute, man, this isn't about what you
Right.
think it should be happening for me at any particular time. Everything is unfolding in the right time, and I'm, as I'm working on myself and being genuine and knowing about my own power, everything's coming the right time. It's not
Absolutely.
about that, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head there,
Yeah.
Luke. Process. Everything is a
Right.
process. Pregnancy is a process. You got to go
Process.
through the 9 months, right? You can't have summer without going through winter.
Winter.
Everything is a process, right?
Darkness, and then light, different seasons. I mean, and all that builds, it helps to build a better you going through that, you know, because if we all went from here to straight what people would call success and easy, that means anything while you're there that happens to you, you'll fall quickly, because you'll have no type of character, you'll have no kind of strength, or strength structure, no type of anything to help sustain you. So going through, like you said, the process of life, going through, what you had to go through to get to the point where you start looking within and looking at ways to heal yourself. You had to go through all that to
Yeah,
become who you are now,
absolutely.
you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the thing. If you didn't go through all that, now, granted, I don't want to go through it again, but hey, I don't regret it because it's what I had to go through. If you didn't go through the things that you've been through in life, even the scare with your health, you wouldn't be who you are today. You
yeah.
wouldn't. All that was part of the puzzle of creating who you are. And
That's exactly right.
because of who you are, now you are able to take from everything that you've been through and the knowledge that you've acquired and help other people. And that's what it's all about, I believe, you know.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, Lute. So Earl Nightingale's quote on success. And let's say it together. Success
Uh-oh.
is the can you
Success.
remember?
Okay, go ahead. Success.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Remember
Oh,
that?
okay, yeah. I remember seeing it, but no, I don't know it. Success. Let's say it
It,
again.
success is the progressive realization of a
Nation.
worthy
Worthy
ideal.
ideal.
I
Wow.
that
Wow.
when I read Earl Nightingale's quote that, I was like, oh my gosh, because it's just what you said. Success doesn't happen overnight. And we're talking
Yes.
about processes and progress. It's the progressive realization of a worthy idea. It's progressive.
Right.
We've got
And
to go through
usually,
the
and you
process.
know what too? And I'm not, I know there's a few exceptions, but normally, even if you follow people that you say are success, like famous people, and it seems like there's two ways I want to look at. Sometimes it seems like they have success overnight and you don't know what happened behind the scenes. You know, they went through a lot of, then you find out later that they went through years of homelessness, this. But in those situations where someone did get put in a spot quickly,
Mm,
they usually fall. And you
mm,
usually hear about something tragic, drugs, depression, suicide,
yeah,
something, you know, because they didn't go through that process and they didn't shape, you know, themselves with resilience and, you know, strength and courage and you know, all that and
yeah,
learning how to, you know, get through things, you know.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that builds the character, going through things, going through uncertainties, going through scares in life like you went through, going through, you know, those things build uh, strong, resilient uh, people, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is what helps create you. It's your experience and all the and what you've gained through the journey that helps
right,
build who you are. I mean, that is what builds has created what who I am today.
right,
And I'm just even more excited because imagine how much more you can grow from here. And I mean, if I feel so ecstatic and so blissful at this point in time, gosh, imagine 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. I'm just
right,
excited, right? How
right.
much more growth can we get? And the answer is
We yes,
it's endless.
limitless, limitless. Yeah, you're gonna be in a different space, you know, next year at the same time than you know you are. You'll still know the things that you know, but on top of that, you're gonna have more on top of that, you know, and more aha moments and more, you know. And the thing is too, what you've been through in life, the different stages and the different growth periods, you're able to now when you connect with people, no matter where they are, you're able to sympathize with them and have an understanding. It won't be foreign to you when they tell you I'm here and this is what's happening to me. Then you're able to, no matter what level they're on, to figure out an approach, to figure out, okay, this is what we're gonna do. It's not gonna shock you and say, oh, that happened to you. Wow, I've never heard anything like that happening to anybody. No, you're gonna understand things happen. You know, people have they're stuck in certain mindsets, you know, and it's not their fault. Most time it is not their fault. You know, when someone is really adamant about how they are, it's not their fault. That's all they know, you
Yeah.
know. But then when you really want to talk to them and tell them, hey, do you want, okay, you're
Mm,
telling me this is how you are. Are you happy with your life? Are you happy with the way things are going? If you are, okay, stay that way then. Are you at peace? If not, something needs to change,
Mm,
you
absolutely.
know?
And everybody has that choice. And that's one thing that they forget they have is choice. You
Right,
have the choice to want to change,
right.
right? You have the
Yes,
choice. We all have a choice. And some people think they don't, but the truth is you do. And
right,
there is a consequence to every choice you make, whether good or bad. There's always a consequence. And sometimes this is see, a lot of people don't have that cognitive processes. And this is why a lot of us struggle to make a decision, because we we need to work up on that cognitive processes and say, if I do decide to do this, what is the consequence?
right, right,
What is the consequence? Am I willing to take the risk to jump on a plane and attend a seminar on the other side of the world who about a guy who I've never heard of before because it was recommended? I did that. Speaking from experience, I
right.
flew to LA in 2016 when I heard of Bob Proctor, and I was like,
Yes,
I was told about him. I was like, right, I'm going to the paradigm shift, and I attended his
right.
workshop up there
Oh,
at the
amazing.
in LA. I did that. So I didn't I didn't think about the consequences at that point in time. I felt, you know what, I'm just going to do it. It resonated with me there and then. I made that decision. I told my husband. He's like, you what? When? What? Where are you going? I'm going to LA. I'm going to attend the paradigm shift event. And so you're out of your mind. But
Okay.
the what? Yeah. But the consequences of that, fortunately, was that I gained so much,
Right,
and it kind of elevated my personal development journey.
right. Exactly. That was what you needed. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful that you stepped out there like that and, and took that, and it was for your own, being. And that's good. Wow.
Yeah.
So
We've covered so much, Lou.
a beauty we have. So we're coming close to the end. So I just wanted to ask you, how can
Yes.
people find you if they want to seek, more knowledge or your services? They want help or insight or for what you do. How?
Well, they
Is
can
it that
find,
link that I have?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thinkhypnoticsolutions.com.au. That's
.com
thinkhypnoticsolutions.com.au.
.au. Okay. I'll make
Yes,
sure that it's attached to the description of this
thank
video. Beautiful. And last
you.
but not least, is there any last ideas, statements, anything you would like to say before we close out to leave people with?
Don't don't let yesterday take up too much of today.
Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Okay. Wow, that reminds me, if I could try to find something
Yeah, go.
really quick, and
Yeah.
and it's by one of my favorite philosophers, Ralph Waldo Emerson. What
I
you
love.
just said just sparked something. Oh,
Yes.
here it is too. Now I'm reading it. It's Ralph Waldo Emerson, and what it says is, finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities have crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin in serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense.
Beautiful. That's music to my ears.
So that's what it is. That's him,
It is
Ralph Waldo
beautiful.
Emerson. And I keep this quote. And yeah, but yeah, it's exactly what you just said. Don't let
Yeah.
yesterday take up too much of today.
Right. Oh, that
Beautiful.
just intertwined so beautifully.
Beautiful. Yeah, look it up. It's you know what? I'm going to, after we get finished here, I'm going to send you this in Messenger. I'm going to send you this
Thank
quote.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Matter of fact, I'm going to send it right now while we're on live. And
Wonderful.
yeah,
Wonderful. This
so I'm
is
going to
so
go
exciting.
to chats, Sheb, and you have it now. So when you
Oh,
go to your
wonderful. Thank
messenger,
you
you
so
have that
much.
quote. I often read that quote, especially when I
Yeah.
catch
Yeah.
myself thinking about things that are done or I cannot change. I go back and read that again and
Yeah.
as a reminder. So
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you so much, Sheb,
Thank
for
you,
coming
Luke.
on the
I'm
show,
really
and appreciate you sharing your amazing energy, your insight, your testimony, just everything is just radiates from you just so beautifully. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Mwah. Lots of love to you and your family.
Yes, and thank you everyone for watching. And like I said, I'm gonna put the link, and I want you to get a hold of her so that you can enhance your life and start a new life. And you know who I'm talking to. That's all I can say. You know who I'm talking to. Enlightened, empowered, evolved. Thank you very much.